Birthday Battenburg. Well, I never. Sister Mary, you've absolutely come up trumps, you and your little dashunt growler. So, third birthday Battenburg. Lovely. So, I don't know what you're getting. Birthday Battenburg's nothing better. What can I say? I would share it because I am a sharing, caring kind of guy. I would share it, but you're not getting any. It's not going to make it alive out of this house, let me tell you. So, welcome. Welcome to the Theatre of the Mind, live number 231. I'm so glad you could make it this evening. We'll let everyone get their feet under the table. Strange echo on the audio. Let me just check something first. Is it that one? No, let me do that. There shouldn't be, although I was mucking about with microphones a little earlier. So thank you to everyone that's in the body of the Kirk this evening so far. Thank you to you for your continued support. Let's go that. Is it that one? Let me just take a look at that. No, it's not that. No, it's not that. That can go. And no, it's not that. Where am I? Hang on. No, it's not that one. Right, let me just, let me get to... Okay. Right. We are in the body of the Kirk. It is, let me just make it sync so I can see what we're doing and how we're doing it. There is an explanation for all of this lateness and chaos. Ian Dawkins says, audio's all fine for me. Welcome, Ian. Oh, no. Welcome, Ian. We always pop newbies first timer. If anybody is getting an echo on the audio, just refresh the page and it should be okay. Can't even bloody see with all the smoke from the candles. I should have put 4 candles. Gene Psychic, and I got a piece of Battenburg. Welcome to the body of the Kirk, Gene Psychic. Karen, sound is good. Brilliant, Karen. Let's go. Oh, you've been chatting away merrily. So we have a big announcement at 8 o'clock tonight. An announcement that you need to stay around for. I promise you, it's an announcement you should be staying around for at least 8 o'clock. Because it's a biggie. Before we get into it, I think tonight we're going to be a little bit more relaxed about what we're doing. So it's going to be very interactive. So I want you in the comments, just chatting away. We'll do stuff and I will kind of take your lead because the lives are yours, not necessarily mine. They're yours. And I do all my research that I can to present to you stuff that you won't see in the mainstream media, not by a long chalk. Stuff from America, stuff from this country, the truth and everything. Excuse me, I'm going to need some of God's nectar, or the nectar of the gods, should I say. I'll guarantee you this is going to be bloody hot. Oi, that was hot. I see you says, Les, I used to live in Thixondale. Saw stag, kites, badgers, and her from number 3 on her way home from the village pub. Real wildlife, says I see you. That's actually quite funny. Les reckons he lives a couple 100 metres from the beach and surrounded by countryside with an easy walking distance. Deer, badgers, jackdaws, kylarks, birds and prey. Birds of prey, all common. They're not called Angela Rayners by any chance, are they? Forage for mushrooms. Lovely. I hope you don't get off your tits, Les. I mean, how do you know when the mushrooms are proper mushrooms and they're not going to kill you? They're not poison. Right, welcome to the body of the Kirk. To all those, I see you, and Les Griffiths, and all the usual Tom Harney's. Evening, everyone, as a wrong-un philosopher once said. Hurrah for Battenburg! It's more than just a kick. It's sustenance of the gods. The gods of the brown. Code brown, anyone? Neil says, so they're partially banning energy drinks for under 16s. Christ, they can barely get out of bed as it is. I'm with you, Neil. I am with you. I mean, how do you... I did... I won't go into too much detail, but I did say to a parent of a 15-year-old, if he don't get out of the fucking bed, I'm going to chuck a bucket of water over him. Let's see how quickly he wakes up. Because that's what would have happened in our youth, and it didn't harm us. Mind you, the lead didn't kill us either. The Battenburg shtick is wearing thin now. Les. There are new people coming into the body of the Kirk, so the Battenburg shtick stays. Terry Wookfoot, just a lot, Les. In fact, never really floated my boat, but it just is the way I think about things. Yeah, you pair of wrong uns. Lamia robot, his intelligence is definitely artificial. Could be. Battenbutt is at the ready, says TMG. TMG, accurate. Hang on. Ginger Crowler has referred herself for investigation. I'm offering, says Neil. I wouldn't. Imagine what you find up there. No. Andrew James says, with or without rubber gloves, young sir. Hamas Wanderers, is it Sandra? Where's Sandra gone? Oh, Sandra. Hi there. Just to let you know, we had 14 bodies in transfer window. Bloody hell. Did you get them all signed up, Sandra? I mean, I do hope that you do well this year. We can't. I feel your pain, Sandra. I do feel your pain. And Sunderland have been at the bottom of the Championship before Roy Keane took over, and then we were promoted to the Premiership. Mind you, he probably scared the bejesus out of the players. So I do hope you have a good season this season, Sandra. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Mad Matt UK says, good evening, Rev. Good evening, everyone. Well, here we are, 3 years down the line. I think I've missed 6, so I'll say my Hail Matrons later. Otherwise, I'll have the Bishop pointing his finger at me. That won't be hard. Mad Matt UK, it's just a sponge finger. Or a bishop's finger, which is rather tasty, so Sister Mary says. I see you. Sandra, never saw that on the news. Was it a mass shooting? Yeah, wrong, and I see you. And anybody new to the body of the Kirk, it's just us being us. We can take the mickey out of each other because, well, we can take the mickey out of each other, but anybody from the outside taking the mickey out of us, well, we all bang together and, well, we protect each other because we know what's what in life. To celebrate tonight, I've got 2 Oh, Mad Matt UK. We're going to fall out. Oh. Food of the gods, Mad Matt UK. Tonight, I'm going to celebrate. I've got 2 Savaloy dips. Anybody outside of Sunderland might not get what that is. It is proper food. It's proper food porn. You don't get them in posh places, but boy, oh boy, do they taste fantastic. Guinness and a few chocolates to celebrate. I raise my glass to the Rev for bringing us all together. Here's to the next 3 years. Chars. I can't really eat it while I'm talking to you. Barely drink me a hibiscus. Interesting, Andrew. Not quite sure what you mean and who. Terry Wookfoot to Bieta. I think you're right about a big announcement tonight. Got the funny feeling there will be some weeping and gnashing of teeth. Oh, I say, young Wookfoot. What can I say? 8 o'clock. Was that the Egypt caught near the Chelsea ground with the fake weapon? That was the boy the other day, wasn't it? They reckon it was there was a shooting and he was arrested by police, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, it was a fake gun. I mean, what an arse. Who in their right mind thought, oh, it'd be a great idea to walk around London with a fake gun in my pocket? Unless you, of course, you're John Bindon. Welcome to everyone. Everyone's chatting away. Brilliant. Terry Wookfoot, beware of strange men with bags of tat at courthouses, mate. Oh, dear Lord, you're bringing on this cough, man. Terry Wookfoot, strange echo in the audio. You probably got it on 2 screens, you're wrong. Ghetto defendant, evening all. Lovely. A birthday party is there. Musical chairs, pin the tail on the donkey. It could be a Diddy party if you play your cards right. Penny Hen, hello, welcome Penny Hen, welcome to the Body of the Kirk on this birthday Wednesday evening. Phil the Van, Manda Sky, Karina Jane. I'll save you some, Karina Jane. No, I won't. I'll have that eaten within 30 seconds of finishing this live tonight. Show me a Battenburg and I'll show you an invisible Battenburg. Happy anniversary, sir. Great achievement, this channel. Spencer Davies. Thank you, Spencer. Keep on running. Terry Wookfit. Oh, it's okay now. I've pressed the right button. Gene Psychic says, I'm getting the Bloody Marys from Sister Mary. Oh, be careful. A growler's out running around. She corrected me last night, I have to say, Sister Mary. I was quite excited about her growler being in the Body of the Kirk. And she said to me, it's not Spaniel's Lugs, Rev. It's a Dachshund. I said, oh, you've got a sausage dog, Sister Mary. She says, I have. I was too long in the cucumber patch. Oh, just leave me alone. I'm having my own party in my head, man. I'm making my own gags and laughing at them, which is even worse. Jane Psychic, I've got a piece of Battenburg. Brilliant. Amalia Grassi, I bloody love coffee cake. Oh, me too, Amalia. Mike's Alligators. Hi, Adrian. I hope you're keeping well. How did you get on at your doctor's? They saw me coming and locked the doors. So I've got to go back again. Spencer Davies says, is one of those pics behind you, Adrian, the Breakfast Club? Which one? That one? That's from the that's from reception at Rock FM. That is from the boardroom at Century 106. That one behind me chair is actually from the boardroom of LBC. They were chucking it out. I mean, it's amazing what radio stations will skip. And I just said to the boss, are you chucking that? Oh, yeah, we're going to redecorate. Can I have it? And I had to take it all the way home to the bloody northeast on a train. Can you imagine? Karen, happy third Theatre of the Mind, Adrian. Thank you very much, Karen. Welcome to the Body of the Kirk. I agree, Paulie Galtieri. You're making me laugh. You're wrong, and I can't concentrate when I'm laughing. Have a good one, Sonna, says Peter Christie. Will do, Peter. Thank you. Welcome to the Body of the Kirk. I once went to a Diddy party. Ken Dodd was not amused. I bet he wasn't. Your name's not on the door, son. You're not coming in. All right, then. Is that P. Diddy? No. Ken Diddy Dodd. Oh. Wrong party, then. Andrew James, yes. Paul West, good evening. I'm not taking my fast speedboat to the Caribbean. Can't outrun fireworks, says Paul West. And right, we'll get to the bottom of the doodahs. Stuart, he's no light. Oh, hang on. He's no light lunch. A catchphrase of he's no light lunch. A catchphrase of yours. Yes, Stuart, that one up there. You've got to reverse it though. And thank you to the person that contacted me. Was it yesterday? And said, look, if you get this piece of gubbins, it'll reverse it automatically. So YouTube won't be able to kind of do what it's doing. And so technically I'll be on this side of the camera and you'll be able to see everything written the right way around. Alan says, hope everyone is old enough for the monster drinks. I am, but there was a time in my life when I was drinking about was it half a litre? So it was about 16 litres of the stuff every week. And went into the doctor and he went, whoa, me, Mr. Allen, you're diabetic. No, just energy drinks, Your Honour. So I packed them in, God blimey. But now the teenagers, the kind of schoolies, they're knocking them back just to kind of wake up and get into school so they're prepared for lessons. Jesus H. What are they doing, man? What are the parents at? Oh, yeah, they're off the tits on gear themselves. There's Griffiths. That's funny. Chef vacancy on Necker Island. I'm not applying for that. I'm not applying for the Obamas chef either. Chef. What can I say? Yeah, isn't it fact that young Dickie was on Epstein's list? Oh, we're going to talk about Epstein's list. If you're on it, you're on it. But I'm going to talk about Epstein's list tonight, like, mate. So Paulie Galtieri, I remember the yellow poster in the back of the buses in Derby. They were Paulie Galtieri. They were everywhere. Were you at the firework display that I switched on? There was like 250,000 people there. And I just, because I couldn't see them before I went on stage. And somebody said, it's a big crowd night, Adrian. I said, oh, money, yeah. I've had these before, and literally I walked on stage and the roar from the crowd in Derbyshire, I can't even remember where it was in Derbyshire for the fireworks switch on. It was fantastic. It was just amazing, wonderful. The Outlaw, will it be released ever? Well, if I can undo my buttons. Nicky Watson says, I can't stand the smell of them. Definitely wouldn't drink them. Oh, I know. But sometimes, oof, I could run through walls after one of them. I mean, some people take them just before they go to the gym. Well, they do a better session, seemingly. Oh, and smash those likes, please. Smash those likes as you're coming into the body of the Kirk. We've already got 200 people watching, and tough crowd tonight. 60 odd likes. Jesus, what have I got to do? Take my clothes off. Don't answer. Matt. Oh, it might have been Ian Dawkins. Might have been Matlock. Yeah, it might have been. But it was a fantastic night, and the firework display was awesome. Just because you're in a radio studio, you don't understand how big the audience is, because you're just speaking one-to-one through a microphone and a mixing desk and a radio station, and then you go to Matlock and the firework display, and you're about to start them, and bloody hell, the crowd was massive. Roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, roast potatoes, carrots and sprouts. Stop teasing me, Lionel Leighton, unrehearsed. I'll be back off to Torby Carvery. Andy Turner, I know someone that takes 20 Red Bull a day. Are they dead yet, Andy Turner? 20 Red Bull a day. Jesus H, how do they sleep of an evening? Les Griffith says Blackpool illumination switched on so you can see to walk round the dog shite. Vomit, drunks and druggies. That's Blackpool for you. Went there as a young chap with me mum and family, and it was magical. It was magical back then in the late 60s. Magical. Not so sure now, but I'm always happy to be corrected. Frank Boff paid good money for that. Markeaton Park in Derby had a very big firework display. Might have been that one, Paulie. I genuinely can't remember. But I know it was massive. They reckon easily over 250,000, and 250,000 people roared my name. Well, I never. I did that night. Red Bull and Viagra, Tower Block Tracy. I'll wait for the punchline. Ba-dum-tsh. Phil Levan, curry night in my gaff. Oh, Phil. So we can do roast beef and Yorkshire pudding with a curry chaser. That sounds like a party to me. Stuart says, one of my friends used to drink 5 Red Bulls a day and start getting chest pain, so he stopped drinking it. It's the same with, what was those caffeine tablets that you could take? When I was in the nightclubs, I used to take those just to kind of stay sharp. And in the end, Pro Plus, in the end, I started getting proper chest palpitations, so I stopped completely, never taking them for 40 odd years. Mephistopheles, energy drinks are okay just before leaving work and heading to the gym for a workout. Does help. Yeah, and there's like pre-workout. Hang on. I can smell some burning. So if I leave this camera sharpish, or you hear any screams through the window, you know the house is burning down. Hope not, fingers crossed. I would hate to stop the live early. Get the fan on. Honestly. It smells like somebody's burning the house down. Now I can't hear any screams. I'm not going to start shouting. Paulie Galtieri knocked back so many double vodka Red Bulls back in the early noughties. Oh, really? Were they called White Doves? Thank you, Phil Levan. What was I going to say? Paulie Galtieri. Yes. So the thing that I found in the late 90s was if you wanted to go on a bender, and I'm talking like a couple of days, if you wanted to go on a bender, and there was one couple of days, a weekend with the lads that used to live around my door. So all the lads got together and went, right, we're going down the pub and we're going to, drink. And we got, some of them were in right state. One of them, I had to piggyback half a mile to his house, knocked on the door and chucked him on the floor and says, right, he's yours now, not ours, we're continue drinking. And he was hungover for 3 days. But that's when I found vodka Red Bull. And I remember talking to someone, the girl that I was seeing at the time, and my speech was slurred and I was proper on it. And then I had a couple of vodka Red Bulls and I was sober as a judge. And I rang her back like an hour later, and she went, "Oh, hang on a second. You were absolutely shitted an hour ago. What went on?" I said, I found this thing. It's called vodka Red Bull. It sobers you up immediately so you can start drinking again. Too old now for that caper, that malarkey. It was back in the day when I was single and fit as a butcher's dog. Andy Turner, the new Mrs. Allen, is probably... she's probably set fire under my chair as I'm speaking. So, honestly, I'm genuinely concerned enough that I might have to go downstairs and find out who set fire to the house. One hard lesson learned as a young man was don't mix red wine and beer. Monster headache and memory loss. Les, never mix grain and grape. Never mix grain and grape. Ray Norton worked for a drinks company that was one of the first distributors of Red Bull, sold pallet loads at the Hacienda and Sankey soap in Manchester. Oh, I bet you did. I bet you did. They kept going for days if they were on it. Manchester was that the, kind of the rave scene. I worked with the DJs from the Hacienda back in the day, back in 88, 89. I was headlining this gig in the Northeast, and they were kind of like second on the bill. And then the owner came to me and says, "Oh, do you mind if they go on last?" And I was like, "Why? What are they taking?" "Dunno, but let's just put them on last." So I was like, "Right, okay, I can get home earlier." No, I don't think it's the... no, it's definitely not the candles. The candles have been out for 10, 15 minutes. No, it's not them. Wine and beer makes you... I'm sure it does, Rich. That's what we always said. So I mean, is it always thus? Like, from my dad's dad, my dad and me, beer or lager, beer. But I don't drink wine to get absolutely squiffy. I drink wine with good meals, good food, good friends. Beer, lager. But as I say, the older you get, the more discerning you become, and you're just like, I can't do that with it. When I was look, I was DJing at one point. I was doing radio, I was doing nightclub, I was doing parties, and I was literally working all night, getting to the radio station, having half an hour sleep, and then doing the early breakfast show. Couldn't do it now. Bloody hell, fall asleep, you wouldn't get me awake for 8 hours. And I see you saying to Andrew, I remember having a Friday night out on 10 quid. Look, when I first started drinking, which obviously is a few years ago in the 70s, I was buying a pint of beer for 19p. 19p. And then when it went up to 27p, there was outrage on in Sunderland. Jesus, they're doubling it. It's like 50% increase. Can you imagine if you could buy a pint of beer for 27p? Oh, bitter or lager. Look, if I want to go out and have a kind of chill drink, it's Guinness. It is Guinness, because it's like having a meal. You don't need to eat, just have Guinness and don't eat. Neil Cunningham, that's a big announcement at 8 o'clock. Help fetch a ladder. The 70p for a bottle of hooch on a Wednesday in Berlin's in Derby. The whole table was covered. I bet it was. In bodies or just the alcohol. Paul Mabley, I haven't had a drink for 8.5 years, and yes, I do miss it. I try not to. Amalia is asking, how much is it now for a pint? And I remember going down to London and going into King's Cross, and there's I can't remember the name of the pub in King's Cross. They charged me £10 odd for a pint. And I looked at them. I said, "Are you sure?" "Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is London prices." I said, "At least Dick Turpin wore a fucking mask." God, blimey, Manda Sky. I remember getting trebles for £1.50 in 1985. Wonderbar. Oh, who was that? Just turned 18. Received my membership to the Cons Club. Mad Matt UK. Received the membership to the Cons Club. £1.20 a pint. Do you know how much we would kill for £1.20 a pint now? Here in Zante, the kids, 2 pints, pissed. Oh, there's loads of people that can't handle the drink. And not necessarily the kids either. Some women, mind you, Swansea girls, they'll drink you under the table. Half a lager and black, 30p, 1979. Jean Psychic. Ian Dawkins, I paid 75p a gallon for petrol when I had my first motorbike. Oh, you could have ridden that for weeks. There's a comedy opening there for you, Ian. I'll let you have it. £2 for a bottle of Merrydown cider, 1980, says Topless 69. Oh, the memories. So tonight is it's kind of the third birthday. This is live 231. So we are looking at over 500 hours worth of lives since the channel started. I mean, we didn't even start the lives until nearly a year in. So 500 hours in 2 years. Oi, 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 oi. Soul Rebel. Petrol? Fill her up for a fiver. A drink would make me ill within 5 minutes. Oh, sorry to hear that, Lionel Layton, unrehearsed. I mean, I've been, as anyone will testify that's had a few sherbets. There have been times where I've lay in the back garden looking up the stars going, Jesus, I know the earth revolves, but those stars are moving quite a bit. Ray Norton, remember half-pence flashing when fill up with petrol. Wow, yeah. I mean, half p's, pennies now. It's the lowest is like 5p, but petrol, it's got to be, digital ID. They'll soon stop that. 1 shilling and threepence for a bottle of Baby Sham. Oh, you were a cheap date, Reg D. Cheap date. Bottle of Baby Sham. Blimey, what women's clubs were you going to, Reg D? Andy Turner. Lager here is £2.40. Top shelf, £1.60 to £5. Wow. Soul Rebel, holding on to the bed. Soul Rebel, holding on to the floor in case you fell off. When I started driving, it was only 60p a litre, fill the van. Do you know, when we were in lockdown, it was only 80p a litre, but then if you go back to 1999 into 2000, when we had all the fuel strikes, it was 60-odd p a litre. It went up to, I think, 80-odd, 90-odd p, and people were demonstrating on the motorways. Can you not remember that? Oh, I say, Rich has finished his first cheeky Sauvignon of the evening. I am a Chateauneuf de Pape man myself, Rich. Stuart says, pints of my local are well over €6. Jesus. Dublin. I mean, I knew it was kind of expensive, but God, I've had loads of Guinness in Dublin. Loads. 1p makes tuppence in old money, says Jane Psychic. All right, where's me? Hang on a second. I've got stuff to do tonight. So parish notes, welcome all. So long as you've got your feet under the pews, the starmers. Why do we call them starmers? Because they're soaking hard on your ass. So there's plenty of extra piles, cushions if you wish. Free Battenburg, and if you're some of the grumpy malcontents that have had enough of Battenburg, well, you can have some biscuits, dried, evidently. And altar wine and maybe a cup of coffee if you play your cards right. Sister Mary is full of the joys of spring and running around after her big dog Dick. I'll get to some of the stuff that we might talk about tonight, but we have an announcement at 8 p.m. Quite a good one, actually, if I may say so myself. So tonight, happy 3rd birthday to the channel. This is the day that we created it 3 years ago. Tonight you can ask me anything, literally ask Adrian anything. AAA, and if I can, I will. If I can't, well, I won't. We're going to talk about the countryside being far too white. I mean, it's not as if, you know, the universe or God or planet Earth, Mother Gaia, if you wish, is, well, it's just not playing ball. It's too white. Too white. Too white. Hang on, I can hear a politician. Everything's too white. Of course it will. Go back to Gaza. We're going to talk about Epstein. Told you he was coming back. We'll talk about the Fabian rule of law, because we need to sort of give you a knowledge of where all of the ne'er-do-wells are coming from and who's been in it and part of it. And I've done a very, 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 very deep dive. But I'm not going to do the deep dive tonight. We're just going to kind of chat about stuff. And as I said a couple of weeks ago, you know, it's not about race, this so-called war. It's not about the illegals either. It's always been about class. I shall explain later. So we have some questions this evening. We are going to do a bit of music, and I think we should, well, so long as I can get rid of that, we will talk about it, simply because I do, I mean, you're not, I think we did everything tomorrow, last night, didn't we? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So I'm not going to use any of that. I say it's asking me to save. Of course you're wrong. Where's me bloody questions, man? Is that them? Or is that them? That's them. So we're just because, you know, we'll do some music, but I want to know something. I know we're talking about alcoholic stuff because we're adults and we're allowed to do that. But yesterday, for the first time in easily 50 years, are you aware of those little mint green biscuits called Viscount biscuits? Now, for those who didn't grow up privileged, you will know only posh people put out Viscount biscuits if you went round. Hey, fancy a cup of tea? Yeah, get the biscuits out. And then Viscount biscuits would appear and you go, oh, they're rich. So I'm going to ask you a question. Name something you thought was a luxury when you were a kid. Asking for a friend, oops. So I had a Viscount biscuit yesterday, and I just, for the first time in 50 years, I was like, whoa, this is brilliant. I can buy a packet of these now. I'm rich, mate. So what was, name something you thought was a luxury when you were a kid. Could have been big families. You might have been quite well off, but mummy and daddy were counting the pennies. Les Griffiths, a full plate. Andy B. Thank you, Adrian, for all the hard work you put in to keep us all informed and entertained every week, sir. Andy, thank you for your very kind support for the channel. It's always welcomed and gratefully received. If I can, bloody, my mouth works tonight. Turkish Delight, Dave Johnston. Is it Johnson or Johnston? It's Johnston with an E, isn't it, Dave? Let me know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Yes, mint used to be orange, or that'll have been Club Biscuits, because Club Biscuits were mint and Club Biscuits were orange. But if we went round anywhere and they put chocolate biscuits out, it was like, fill your boots, fill your pockets, we're out of here. A colour TV set with the Knicks playing basketball. A colour TV so I can see the Knicks playing basketball. Let me tell you about credit cards. Oh, can't remember. It's Rapper's Delight, man. That's because I'm going to the cinema, says Gene Psychic. I would have done Rapper's Delight to say the hip hop, the hippie to the hippie to the hip hip hop, you don't stop a rocking, to a bang bang boogie, so up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to be. Now what you hear is not a test, I'm rapping to the beat. And me, the groove, and my friends are going to try to move your feet. You see, I am Wonder Mike, and I'd like to say hello to the blacks, to the whites, the red and the browns, the purples and yellow. But first, I gotta bang, bang, the boogie to the boogie. So up jump the boogie to the bang, bang, boogie. Let's rock. You don't stop. Got a rhythm that'll make your body rock. But so far, you've heard my voice, but I brought two friends along. And next on the mic is my man, Hank. Come on, Hank, sing that song. Tell me about checkbooks, credit cards, more money than a sucker can ever spend. That'll do. Getting a telephone, says Penny Hen. You can tell it's a birthday. You can tell I'm off my head. Imagine me, real radio, first birthday, shitted on air. Any biscuit that had a silver or gold foil wrapper, says Nicky Watson. I know. Do you remember Yo-Yo biscuits, Adrian? Oh, I do. Mike's Alligators. Yo-Yo biscuits. They were mint, weren't they? A bit like Viscount, but they weren't as posh as Viscount, because Viscount obviously has a posh name. But I do, yo-yos. Van Gogh just cut his other ear off. Thank you very much, Les. Paul West, proper school toilet paper, not tracing paper, not Eisel, Paul West. I mean, schools, Eisel, 40 screams a wipe. It was just torture. They did it on purpose. Gene Psychic, Sugar Hill Gang, and Des Ashton, a fridge. Did you have a larder in your house? We had a larder that was always cool, even when it was red hot in the summer. It was always cool in there. I don't know how they managed that. Grapes, Richard Austin. That's proper posh. Yes, Alan, a Tanner. Tanner? Gary Shabot, we were the first family in my area and my school to have a colour TV. My parents, we used to have a colour TV in Canada. All my mates used to come round and watch the FA Cup final. We didn't get a colour TV, Gary, until 73 when Sunderland beat Leeds United 1-0, 32 minutes. Sunderland, the underdogs, are in the lead. No, we got a colour TV so we can watch the FA Cup final in colour. Oi, 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 oi. I mean, the simple pleasures. The simple pleasures. Shortbread, says Neil Cunningham. Oi, oi, oi. Larder, do you mean pantry, you posh git? Les Griffiths, larder, pantry? Larder, larder, larder. See, we thought people that said it was a pantry were posh. So larder was very working class. Sandra Whittam, chocolate tea cake. Oh, Tunnock's tea cakes. Ooh. Do you know, it's food porn. All we're doing is just, we're winding everybody else up. Indoor loo, Amalia Grassi. One of my relatives had an outdoor loo, and I loved using the outdoor loo because there was privacy, especially in winter. People used to go, I'm not going out there. And I used to go, I'd love sitting in there. It's really private. It's very cold. Love the cold, but private. Rusty's Roaming says, we had a larder. My mum didn't want a fridge. She was scared of them. Couldn't understand how you could mix cold stuff with electricity. Took us years to persuade her. Bless her. Old Jamaica chocolate bar, says Ian McGee. Oh, aye, well, aye. And it tasted of rum. It did. I mean. And what was the other one? Tins of shandy. So we used to buy tins of shandy, thinking, oh, drinking alcohol. Oh, we're going to get absolutely wasted. Yeah, right. The Penny Blender part. Ha! We had colour for the moon landing in 69. Maybe we were posh on our council estate. Oh, you got it 3 or 4 years ahead of everybody else, Napoleon. Andy Turner, Amalia Grassi was freezing the plastic records in Reader's Digest. Oh, I say. Vauxhall Viva. You had a car, Alan? Dave Johnson, I remember 73, Sunderland football parade. Oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. I can't remember where I was. We were kind of the other side of Sunderland for the parade. Everybody was there. Top Deck, Bad Wolf Project. Yeah, exactly. Shandy, Top Deck Shandy. And it wasn't alcohol at all. I don't know what it was. But we were like, oh, I'm drinking alcohol and I'm 10 years old. Permain. Blimey, Les, did you drink that? I used to laugh at my mother for drinking that. The Outlaw, Ferrero Rocher and Shandy Bass in the blue tin. Oi, 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 oi. Awfully party of... Oh, I say, Paulie Galtieri was Party Central. Aztec, the Aztec bar. Wasn't that... didn't it have... I think the burning might have turned into a curry. Smells lovely. Going on holiday to Crimdundee. That was proper posh, Terry Wookford. Proper. Dates that used to come from, Israel. And Stephen Hall, my parents, that was Tom Harney's, by the way, my parents' house in London in the 1960s had an outside toilet. Oh, I loved them. And you know, nowadays, if you wanted kind of like a toilet shaped like that, those toilets with the cistern above and the pull chain, you would pay thousands for them. Back in the day, they were just taking them out with sledgehammers. Now, if you want one of them, you're proper posh. If it's still in your house, of course. Lemon and lime, lager, Top Deck. Oh, I say, Gene, psychic. Curly Whirly. And they were much bigger then. They were at least 3 foot long. Well, seemed like it when I was a kid. Hang on a second. Fries, chocolate cream. Wasn't it one of those exotic women in kind of like a face veil thingy dancing in the desert? Fries, chocolate cream. If you eat fries, chocolate cream, you're as exotic as this bird in a bikini. Lady, obviously. Texan bar. Love Texan bar. And a Triumph Herald. Do you know, Gene Psychic? Thank you, Bad Wolf Project, Gene Psychic. Triumph Herald, one of my favourite cars ever. I mean, I love an Aston Martin. I love some of the upper, but a little Triumph Herald, they're just a thing of beauty. I thought they looked fantastic. Andy Turner, Woolworths Pick and Mix, a $5 worth on a Saturday as a treat. Blimey, that would have kept you going for a month. So Mephistopheles fries, chocolate cream, and fries orange cream if you were even more exotic. Everything was much bigger then, Alan, including the Curly Whirly. Oh, PT Ham, outdoor loo next to a coal shed with possible spiders at night. Oh, that's enough to that's enough to not, you know. Mind you, as you get older, but back in the day, in me youth, I could go days without peeing or dropping the kids off, and now it's every 5 minutes. I mean, how does that work? He's God having a laugh on our behalf. Right, I'll show you. I'm gonna take the mickey out of you, and you can go to the toilet 3 times in the night. Right, hang on a second. No. Da-di-da, and then we'll get on to stuff. I was just waiting for 8 o'clock. Yeah, Soul Rebel, Yorkie, for men only. And then it was the truck drivers. The truck drivers are real men. Toffos, oi, 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 oi. Says Ian McGee, Vixtex, Pyramints, TMG. Do you remember Pyramint? That was probably far too posh for me. I can't remember them. Were they 80s, 90s, 70s? Adrian, can you remember a drink called a Red Witch? Ooh, Anne-Marie Steele. No, I can't. Tell me more. Did you see apparitions and stuff and ghostly things and you go off your head? Terry Wookfit. You would have been around the same time we used to go there. Remember the Waltzer, the Dodgems. Hang on, it's going a bit quick. Where's he gone? Bloody hell, man. The Waltzer being installed and the Dodgems. Scream if you want to go faster. Terry Scott with a curly whirly. They were great adverts. And he was funny, seemingly. I'm not quite sure why, but he was funny. He's a bit like, what's the Angus Young from AC/DC wearing a school uniform. Terry Scott wore it and got laughs. Hamlet Cigars. How old were you, Mephistopheles? Around the back of the bike sheds. I bet you were impressing the girls with the size. Vixtex. Oh, yes. Paulie Gallieri. Who remembers Macintosh's weekend? Well, you definitely would have had a weekend if you ate all those. Paulie Gallieri, you're wrong. Nikki, Miriam Margolis did the voiceover for Cadbury's Flake. Well, her image has changed somewhat since 1 minute. And you don't get a walnut in the bottom of a walnut whip anymore. Oh, of course. Bloody hell. I forgot about that. Tight arses. Don't forget the paraffin lamp to stop the loo freezing. Yes, quite. Yes, it got cold in Sunderland back in my youth. Spangles. Les, can I tell you something? Don't Google Spangles. I had a conversation with somebody the other day and they said Spangles is something, well, you know, it's a bit naughty. And I said, no, it's not. They said, yes, it is. Google it. And I did. Me, Frank Buff. If you Google Spangles and BDSM, you'll soon find out why my bloody hair's curly. Rollos. What was it? Not Toffos, Rollos. What was your last? You'd give somebody your last. God, I can see them. Can't remember them though. Corona cream soda, Napoleon blown apart, party around your house. Hillman Minx was my dad's first car. Love the Hillman Minx. Loved working on them as well. Walnut on top and walnut inside. Terry, well, yeah. Hang on. Rollo, yeah, Rollo. Would you give somebody your last Rollo? Thank you. To Nicky Watson, Paulie Galtieri, Terry, Wookfit, Tom, Black Magic, the Black Magic Man. No, Cadbury's, was it Black Magic? And he would swim. He would swim seas and he would climb mountains just to give a woman a box of chocolates. Smooth, though. Smooth. Thank you to Ray Norton and Kenneth Curran, Phil Levan. Remember the Paxo Rooster Booster ad? Don't be saying that in the body of this, Kirk. We'll all get arrested. Don't Google it, Amalia. Don't Google it, Amalia. Don't. Honestly, it's rude. It's very, very rude. As long as you're in the house on your own. And then when you've stopped laughing, let us know in the comments. Right. So it happens to be 1 minute after 8. So you want to know, don't you? You want the big, big, big reveal. So this coming Sunday, live on live, where are we at? 231, so it'll be 232. Live 232 on Sunday. From, it might be 7:30, it might be 8 o'clock, depending on the technicalities. But she's the officer in case that put Alex Belfield behind bars. You may know her as DC Janet Percival. She's going to be live on Sunday's live, talking about the Alex Belfield case. She will expose the lies, the spin, the gaslighting. All here, Sunday, from 7:30, 7th of September. And as an aid memoir, there'll be some promos over the next couple of days. So Janet has very kindly agreed to come on the live on Sunday and just talk about her experiences, her life experiences. A former detective constable, a former detective with Nottinghamshire Police. So I'm just giving you the heads up. Ex-DC Janet Percival from Nottinghamshire Police will be talking about her experiences and the things that went on, and she will talk about the Alex Belfield case, because he was jailed by a jury, sentenced by a judge, a convicted stalker. He's a convict, a convicted convict. So the lies, the spin, the gaslighting, all of it will be exposed on Sunday on the live. There are other things that we are setting up. I did have, and thank you too, they know, if they're watching, they know who I'm talking about. I had someone that was going to do a remote viewing for you on September 16th, next Tuesday. And we've had a chat about it, and I said that it was a little unfair because some remote viewers and psychics, I mean, she's wonderful. She's given me readings that would blow your mind. And so, for example, I won't give her name at the moment. She said, not this time, but she's willing to come on to the live at some future point, and we had it set up for next Tuesday. But at the beginning of my, and you can make of this what you will. At the beginning of my reading, she said to me, "Oh, your dad's here." Now, my dad wasn't very nice to me and did my knees. He wrote me out of his will. And the first thing he said to this psychic was, "Oh, your dad said he knows he did you wrong. He's going to work very hard from the other side." I said, "Well, don't matter now." And then she said, why have I got the smell of lily of the valley? And the lily of the valley was in the posy that my mum carried on her wedding day. And technically, I'm in the picture. I think she was 2.5 months pregnant with me when they got married. Oh, shotgun! So it was an amazing reading. Some of the other stuff that she came out with was just spectacular. But we did have it set up for next Tuesday. We'll leave it until possibly later in the year, whenever she's ready. And there's no rush, because it's very difficult, even though she's very, very talented. And I mean, supremely talented. We'll just wait. We will just wait. And there was 3 YouTubers, bizarrely, that were going to come on the channel, and they've just said, can we wait a little while? And I've said, yeah, not a problem. So there was a lot of stuff in the workings. And happy birthday for the 16th, the outlaw. You'll be 21 again. I just want to find things that are going to be of interest to you. I don't want to do just the usual grist and grift every day, because I try to make it interesting for you. I try to give you stuff that you can put on your radar. Lily of the Valley, was that not your mum's favourite perfume when she was first married? No, it was the flower. She had the flowers in her posy when she was married. I've never heard of Lily of the Valley perfume. Is that kind of, was it Avon calling? So put it in your diary for Sunday. I'm not going to say any more. More information will come out over the next few days. But Janet is very happy to talk about the case. Not individuals involved, just the case and the background to it. So it will put pay to some things that are being promulgated on social media, because they're lies. They're outright lies. The spin, the narrative control, the gaslighting of people and audience. So we're just going to talk about the case, and we will use some of Justice Saney's notes. Well, I will. Janet won't, because, well, be there on Sunday. Find out more. We'll do a couple of hours with Janet. Very generous. Very, very generous of Janet, and I really appreciate it. Ding dong, Avon. Ding dong, Mephistopheles. Andrew James at Les Griffiths, he said he was banned in London. No. He's not banned in London. He's banned by his license conditions not to meet up with any other ex-cons, any other convicts, any other inmates that might be out on license, or he's not allowed to congregate with other criminals. Sorry, convicts. So there's definitely people on that march that have been inside. He's not allowed to go because there will be other people. He's on license. I really don't understand why people are not getting this. He is on license. License is a privilege. It's not a given. So they can recall you anytime just for bad behavior. Their perceived image of bad behavior doesn't even have to be bad behavior, but if they think you're behaving badly, poof, off you go. So he's not banned in London. He just can't go to the march because Tommy's been inside. So he can't, according to his license conditions, he can't frequent with other people that have been in jail. It's that simple. He's not banned. Because if he goes, then he just goes back to prison. That's part of the license agreement. And do you know what? The easiest way to stop all of this is just publish the license conditions. Just publish them. Really simple. Publish the license conditions. Nikki Watson just got a text from government for emergency alert on the 7th of September. Yeah, I told you that. Sunday's live, Nikki. It's next Sunday. But if you turn your sound off, then it'll vibrate at 3 o'clock. Stuart, wasn't he banned from Epping? I think if there'd been any affray and he was part of the affray, that technically is an illegal act. So if you do anything and you're part of something that is illegal, affray is illegal in this country, then you would just go back to jail. It's really, look, the license is there to make sure that people coming out of jail, and I've said this to you before, it is simply not anything other than a privilege to be released early. And if he'd been a real bad lad inside, then he might not have been released at all. He might have done his full term. But the license conditions say, and it's really simple, and I do believe that there's the creation of controversy because controversy sells. And before he went in, he got a shit ton of money from people because he was taking the BBC and Nottinghamshire police to court, and then didn't, and came up with some spurious excuse. So I think, and again, if any of his team's watching, all I'm saying to you and Dougie is this: just live by your license agreement. You've got life-changing money that's gone through his hands. But if you're trying to stoke controversy, well, it's only going to end up in tears. His. And I don't want that for him. I don't. And look, everybody can comment as much as they want, but he knows me and I know him. So, as an ex-friend, I'm offering an olive branch. Come on this channel anytime you wish as a right of reply. I'm offering any live you want to come on this channel anytime. If you want to stream it live on your own channel, you can do that. Anytime. The offer is open and it's there. You make the decision. Soul Rebel, I hope I presume that's Janet, checks this chat to see we're welcoming. Oh yes, I've already told her. And to our phones, yeah, for the 3 o'clock on Sunday. It's not like, the devil's going to come down. It's not 3i Atlas. That'll happen in November. Maybe they're checking War of the Worlds. Aliens are coming. And somebody pointed out today that if 3i Atlas is about to arrive in November, they're now saying it's 2 spaceships. All of a sudden, is it like the flower of life, where 1 cell becomes 2 cells, become 4 cells, become 8 cells, become 16 cells? Are the aliens going to multiply? And if they've got the technology to be able to travel through space and get to here, why are they taking 3 months about it? Is it because they want to make a grand entrance or something? Hello, we're the aliens. Remember us from V? Yes, we'll eat all your cats because we do like a mouthful of pussy. So we will eat all your rats because, you know, we need to get rid of some of them. They're the size of cats in London. So why don't we do that? Andy Turner says, can I ask, did you think your channel was going to be popular as it was to become? No idea, Andy. I did say to the new Mrs. Allen on the first night, I said, look, if I manage to get 100 subs, well, if I get 50 subs, then I'll be really happy. It might take a lot of work, and literally, I went to bed and I woke up the next day with over 1,000 subs, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? So I'm very happy with where the channel is, because we're not on certain people's radars, and we are getting away with some really, really deep stuff, and I'm happy for that. And we're playing the game. We're playing along with all of the YouTube guidelines, and we're playing along with everything. And I'm very pleased and very honoured to have the audience that I have. The way that you, I'm not blowing smoke up your backside, but the way that you interact with each other in the comment, you're all like-minded. I said last night on the live that 80% of people, according to some psychologist, 80% of people can't critically think their way through life. They're just sheeple. They'll just do as they're told, like take the jibber jabber or stuff. And yet 20%, the other 20%, can see through the brown stuff by a country mile. And I believe that I've got one of the most intelligent audiences on YouTube, and I love it, love it, love it. So thank you. Alan says they're telling us we're coming. Well, I hope they're not making a video about it, otherwise they'll never get on air. Bonnie Blue's been banned by OnlyFans. Maybe we're going to have an aliens OnlyFans. Can you imagine? Hello, I'm a grey. No, I don't have, you know, stuff downstairs. It's just the way I am. I don't, but I'm very intelligent and I'm very funny. Have you seen aliens being funny? No, me neither. So, Area 51, reverse technology. I mean, where did the microwave oven come from? They reckon it came from a spacecraft. Can you imagine? Have you got the meal deals from Marks and Spencer's? Because we're going to be 3 months before we get to planet Earth. I do hope you've got all of those meal deals in, and yeah, just stick it in the microwave. Bing! Give it a couple of minutes, we'll be fine. But we haven't got mouths. Oh. So how are we going to eat it then? Do we have to shove it up our arse? I don't know. You're the bloody alien. You tell me. I'm just putting it in the microwave. Do you have any more thoughts on monetizing the channel, Rev? I'd pay definitely. Mad Matt, I'm in, and I will be really honest with you. And you can ask any question you want in the chat, by the way, because we're just kind of riffing tonight. We will get to some of the serious stuff about Epstein, the Fabian rule of law, and all that kind of stuff in just a little while. But I am going to monetize it some way. And I think I've been accepted by YouTube onto a course for memberships, kind of like a group for memberships. And I always thought that some of my data was sort of reined back. Might have been, might not have been. But since I've agreed to go on this course, bloody hell, my subs have gone up massively. The viewership on the lives have gone up massively. So maybe there was a little, well, we'll show this boy who's in charge. And now that I've agreed to go on a course about memberships and how to do it, and be part of a community around memberships. So yes, I am, but I'm not about the money. Nicholas says, the Congregation of the Kirk are the most switched on forum I'm involved with. 10 out of 10. Thank you, Nicholas. So as I say, this is not about the money. Although I do need to keep myself in shoes and gruel. So I will have to. But as I said about the merch, I would love to do merch. But it's the people that produce the merch and then the people I would post the merch with that make all the money. And I'd barely make any. I thought about writing books and sticking them on Amazon. But again, if you want to publish via Amazon, they take the lion's chunk of the money. Do you have a brother or cousin called either Robert, Robbie, Rob, or Ted, Teddy? No, Terry. No. Although, Laird Wookfit. I was supposed to be called Rob or Robert, and because my dad's best friend was called Robert, and he died sadly, carbon monoxide poisoning, sleeping in a van overnight with the engine running. Go figure. So my dad was in the Indian Ocean, and my mum went, I'm going to call him Adrian, and my dad was like, over bloody, over my dead body. The only guy he knew called Adrian was the only gay in Sunderland. So he's like, over my dead body. And my mother went, no, he's going to be named after Sir Adrian Bolt, the conductor. And my dad was like, what the actual? A man's name. I was supposed to be called Rob or Robert. My mother got to the naming me before my dad got back from sea. So that's why I got Soul Rebel. Chest sounding good tonight, Ed? Shoes and gruel, says Vix Tex. Oh, you were there as well, Vix Tex. Stuart says, when you get a YouTube manager, what does the manager do exactly? Well, as little as possible, I would imagine. But you get a 10, I'm like 195 subs away from 10,000. Once I get to 10,000, that's when you get a manager. That's when you can get sponsorship. That's when you can do other things. But I think at this point, I just want you to know, I'm not about the money. Literally not about the money. What I am about is getting truth to you in a entertaining way. So, that's how we can, if I was fixated on merch or stuff, and even most of the stuff that I put out on YouTube is actually on the lives. So I literally don't make a penny other than the support I get from the body of the Kirk. I don't need to make the other videos, but over the last couple of days, I've made little promos just saying we might talk about this, Growler and stuff, and Beckham Watch and stuff. And Beata says, sadly, I can't afford to pay. That's part of the reason, Beata, why I do the lives free. But I will do lives for people that are unable to pay, because not everybody has that facility. But I will do other stuff for other people. And some of the interviews will be done first in the membership area and then will be rolled out. So you will still see everything, Beata, just not at a particular time. And what I don't want to do is I don't want to, thank you, Neil, really appreciate it. That's pretty cool. What's that? That's pretty cool. Thank you, Neil. And thank you for your continued support and comments in the body of the Kirk. Won't be all membership, Beata. Correct, Soul Rebel, it won't. And there'll be, so what I intend to get the channel to is a fully 360. So you'll get interviews. Thank you, Darren. Really appreciate your support. Again, thank you to everyone that's supporting the channel. So there will be lives, there will be videos, there will be interviews, because bizarrely, my talent extends to that. I mean, look, I'm not suggesting I'm any good. I'm just suggesting that I'm cheap. So I do want lots of things in the channel that people can interact with. And Neil Cunningham, thank you very much. I'll chuck a few quid in the kitty. Most kind. No, Gene Psychic, you knew somebody called Bright Green. There was a guy that lived near our school in Sunderland called Tommy Gunn. We didn't believe that was a real name. We thought that somebody just made that up, but genuinely there was a bloke called Thomas Gunn that lived just up the road from the school. Obviously a bit of a pervert. Oh, hang on a second. Let me just make sure I've got that. Memberships can also be gifted. Someone pays for a membership and then offers it to non-members. That's a beautiful thing, Terry. Yeah, of course, we'll also help with that. But it's, look, we're 3 years down the line and we just need to evolve the channel. Evolution is slow. Large gears grind slowly. But if I think the first couple of years what I wanted to do was make sure that you understood my integrity. Understood that I don't lie. It's pointless lying. And I had to gain your confidence. And I couldn't have done that being, a bit hyper, a bit jazz hands, a bit silly. So as with my radio shows, there's lots of, and I think somebody, Stuart, thank you as ever for your generosity, young sir. Great work over 3 years. Happy birthday, Theatre of the Mind. Thank you, Stuart. Really appreciate it. But, as much as the support and the gifts from people in the body of the Kirk, I also appreciate it with your comments. Because as Nicholas said, This is the most intelligent audience on YouTube, in my view. You know, I can always be proven wrong, but I think you are the most intelligent audience on YouTube. No way. Bad Wolf Project. I had a PE teacher at school called Mr. Fatbody. Behave. Michelle, thank you again. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And your continued support. And that might just be comments in the comment section in the body of the Kirk. For me, that's as valuable as anything else. So Amalia says, so thank you, Michelle. Amalia says, I served a Mr. and Mrs. Bastard once. It was not easy keeping a straight face. No way, Amalia. Mr. and Mrs. Bar Steward, can you imagine? What's your name? Bastard. No, it's your Tourette's kicked in. No, I'm telling you, bastard. Well, I'm going to say, I was being friendly. What do you mean, bastard? That's my name. Oh, Mr. Bastard. Yeah, Mrs. Bastard. The kids are all bastards. Nikki Watson, happy birthday, Theatre of the Mind. Thank you very much, Nikki. I appreciate your support, as always. You can tell I'm embarrassed. Amalia, that's funny. Family of bastards came into your place and you served them. It's a bit like, what was that? Oh yeah, the shits. Can you remember I met the shits when I was skiing in Davos? And there was daddy shit, mummy shit, little shits. Yeah, remember that family? Gunter shit. True story, before you say anything, there's me saying I don't lie. Dick Hardy, no way. I had do you know, Albert Metcalf? I had an uncle on my dad's side called Dick Hardy. That never, that honestly, I was only young. Ivor Biggin said, Mephistopheles and Soul Rebel. I remember the jump rider named Michael Bastard sounded... Oh, hang on a second, I need to get that back. Sounded weird on World of Sport on a Saturday. It's like the skier, Fanny Schmeller. Yeah, the German speed skier, Fanny Schmeller. And there's Mike Bastard. So, I'll ask you a question. What's... I don't think, apart from Tommy Gunn, I don't think I ever came across anybody with a weird name. Have you ever met, been introduced to, or had a teacher with a funny name? A name that you had to go, oh, I've got to be careful here, I might just burst out laughing. So I think Amalia gets the prize so far. So for Family of Bastards, Albert Metcalf's Dick Hardy. Don't tell Sister Mary any of that, because she'll be on it again. Here's to more sweary Mary years from Napoleon Blown Apart. Thank you, Napoleon. I do appreciate it, and I was going to say something else, but I'll leave that till later. Bad Wolf Project, USA baseball player, Rusty Kuntz. Yeah, wasn't there a footballer? Hang on, what was the German footballer? Kuntz. All of them, Kuntz. Amalia says, it's a true flipping story, mate. I kid you not. Can you imagine? Can I take your name? Yeah. Bastard! Oh, sorry, is that your Tourette's? No, it's my name. But you said bastard. Yeah, it's not my Tourette's. That's my name. That's Mrs. Bastard, and they're my little bastards. That's too funny. Honestly, that's going to make me roar with laughter in me sleep tonight. Who said Fanny? Mephistopheles. Who have we got? Alan Little. I had to speak to her, Mrs. Cockaday. That just opens a whole world of funny. A whole world. Stefan Kuntz. I knew he was Neil Cunningham. But Mrs. Cockaday, I mean, you would change your name by default, wouldn't you? Mrs. Cock every fortnight. Mel Hunt. Says Albert Metcalf. David Graham. Stefan Kuntz. And he scored against England in the Euro 96 semi-final against England at Wembley. Oh, he was the right Kuntz. Hang on, who called that Mrs. Pratt? Yes, Mrs. Pratt, my form tutor. No way, Nathan. No way. Gene Psychic. I talked to someone at the Liverpool Education Department called Miss Daft. Oh, we had a Mr. Soft. Or was it Mr. Softy? I would have preferred if we'd had a teacher called Mr. Wobbly, because then we could have hid his hat, and then it would have been Mr. Wobbly hides his hat. Mr. and Mrs. Onion, or Onions, says Bad Wolf Project. And Alison says Joe King and his eastern cousin Wan King. Rusty's Roamings. I had a teacher called Mr. Plant. He was caught in the school greenhouse bonking one of our teachers. Was he using his dibber at the time? Rusty's Roamings. Mr. Plant using his dibber. Making her hole larger. So I've been told. Nicholas, thank you. Here, Mara, get yourself a bottle of Double Maxim. Happy birthday, mate. Oh, Nicholas, a bottle of Double Maxim. That's what all the old birds used to in the working men's clubs. I'll have a Double Maxim. Wasn't there a Double D or Double Diamond? Wasn't there a Double Diamond around the time of Double Maxim? So, Nicholas, thank you for your continued support. Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Soft, Steve Harley. What a name that was. Alan Daffis? Alan Daffis? Welsh? Mike Hunt. Has anybody seen? They haven't done that on Simpsons though, have they? There was two sisters in my school called Mycock. I swear to God. And the running joke was, is one of them called Ophelia? No, good-looking girls as well, if I may say. The elder one, I had a bit of a crush on. The Fockers, well, yes, in the film, Albert Metcalf. Stuart says, Mum, it used to work with somebody called Clive Plant. I still like the one using his dibber in the greenhouse. I think that's quality. My old, bloody hell, Baby Sham Double Diamond was a nice drop, says Paulie Galtieri. Mad UK. My old tutor at secondary school was Mrs. Rimington. Did she really? I bet it was all over her face. Amalia Grassi, I at least had some laughs at work. Yeah, you've got to really, don't you? Dave Johnson says, I worked with a David Pratt who couldn't marry his fiancée until he changed his name. Can you imagine? I'm not going to be called Pratt. She could have hyphenated it, of course. Wayne Kirk, Karina Jane. I used to work with Mr. Crapper. Oh, wasn't Thomas, was it? Thomas Crapper invented the bog, didn't he? Sorry, toilet. Fokker Aircraft, not a good name. Ian Dawkins, of course. Bad Wolf Project. Where's he gone? Bloody hell, that was quick, man. Where's he gone? Don Wigley. Oh my God, guess who's saying his book is Book of the Week at the British Library? It hasn't got an ISBN number. It can't be. They won't log the sales because they don't count if it's not got an ISBN number, and the British Library won't stock it if it hasn't got an ISBN number. So I'll just look forward to anybody printing the ISBN number somewhere online to prove me wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong. Happy. Helen Back. Oh, brilliant, Mephistopheles. I bet she was a right bitch. There was Double Diamond, says Dave Johnson. My memory is so good I can remember the name of my first headmistress at infant school, Stephen Hall. Why did they call them headmistresses? Neil Cunningham, Mike Oxmale. Yeah, all right, then I'll give you that one. Double Diamond was too gassy. I agree with you, Albert Metcalf. Tony Hancock, 4 body parts, all of them Napoleon. Adam Well, Heaven Lee. He or she. Beulah Ball Breaker. Oh, says Alan, wasn't that from Porky's? Porky's. I mean, for me at that time of life, I am going to get to the serious stuff in a second. I promise you, because I promised you I was going to give you some insight into stuff. But I'm having just a bit of a giggle with the names. Beulah Ballbreaker. She was in Porky's, and Porky's. It's one of those films I literally couldn't stop laughing at. Me and my brother-in-law at the time. We went with our girlfriends. The girlfriends didn't find it funny. Me and him literally burst our incontinence pants. It was so funny. Especially the scene where they all ran out of the house. And Lassie in the gym. Ow! If you've been to see Porky's and you know Porky's, then you'll know what I'm talking about. That was just funny. And I don't think anything American has come anywhere close to that. I can't be doing with these American sitcoms. But Porky's was a proper, funny, jaw-breaking film, as was Beulah Ballbreaker from Porky's. Double diamond works wonders. Soul Rebel, you're wrong. Karen, let's go. Ooh, what's he saying now? Scottish Iron Bro advert. The new baby is called Fanny. Your family comes from a long line of Fannies. Lady Stardust says, I know. You try telling that to American. They go, well, does he carry them around his back? My old PE teacher was Miss Muffet. Serious. Was she only titchy? So it was little Miss Muffet sitting in the front of the class. The Cummings lived next door. I bet they did. Could you hear them? Could you hear the Cummings from next door? She was out of Sex and the City, lassie. Forgotten her name. Oh, I know. But and she was a bit of a looker in Porky's. But that just, I mean, when the guy were hiding themselves because they were laughing so hard. Because didn't she like the smell of the jock straps in the changing rooms, and it just sent her doolally. It's amazing what you remember at the back of your head, isn't it? She was, oh yeah. Rimington, topless, and Chester. Chest hair, more like. She did have a tash, so we were always wondering. Honestly, we could do this all night. Who published these books? Was it Amazon or some dodgy publisher? There's no info on his books on Google. That's because, so as a writer, you can get Amazon to publish your books, but they charge you for publishing your books, and I think it's about £8 or £9. So say you want to sell something at a tenner, and you get Amazon to produce it, print it. I would imagine you've got to apply. Because I'm not an author, I don't know where you apply, but you have to apply for an ISBN number for your book so that it is registered either with the British Library or with whomever they have a list for. If it's not got an ISBN number, it's not considered to be a legitimate book. Diamond White with Mad Dog 2020 and Thunderbird. Blimey, I bet you didn't sleep for 3 weeks, Tablock Tracy. Or was that the idea? Lassie came from Liverpool, did she? Calm down. Yeah, right, la. The Wanderers was also a good film. Yeah, it was about the same time, wasn't it? King Treble 7. Kim Cattrall. Thank you, Terry Wookfit. I think that part in Porky's made her career. She just went up and up and up and up and up. But in fact, if I want to laugh over the next few days while I'm eating me Battenburg, I might watch Porky's. There's nobody around me. They're all kind of a bit woke, really. That's why they don't ever come in here when I'm doing this. But I watch it on my own, and they'll hear the roars of laughter down the street because it is a fucking funny film, man. Yeah, Soul Rebel. That's her, Terry. That's her. Let's get to the bottom of the comments if I can. Everyone has a book in them, so they say. I normally take mine out with a bit of lube. A Ghetto Defendant, International Standard Book Number, ISBN. Thank you, Ghetto Defendant. I didn't know what its full title was, but if you want to publish your book yourself, you need an ISBN if you want to have any hope of bookstores and online retailers carrying it. So there you go. If it's not got an ISBN, nobody's going to sell it outside of maybe your own website or something, and that's just in general terms. Terry Wookfit, it's not printed by Amazon, it's an independent publisher. ISBNs can be applied for by the author, the publisher, or a library. They haven't got ISBN, so I don't know what's happening there. I just found Porky's free on Bing search. Gonna watch it after this. Alan, be careful. Make sure that your drawstrings around the legs and the waist on your incontinence pants are tightly wrapped, because there is at least 2 or 3 places in that film where you will not be able to stop laughing. It's just the funniest thing. Kim Cattrall was born in Moseley Hill, Liverpool. Yeah, right, la. And honestly, I loved working for Radio City in Liverpool. I loved it. Liverpool has, it's such a beautiful city. The old buildings are breathtaking. And obviously you've got the musical heritage, the Beatles, the cavern's obviously been pulled down, so I wasn't able to go into the old cavern. That would have been, but I got to Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields, got to some of the usual stuff. And from a young lad in Sunderland, growing up with the Beatles from Liverpool, well, it was just magical. And doing, I used to do the Peaceful Hour. I did mid-mornings, afternoons, Drive, Peaceful Hour. I did all these shows on Radio City and loved it. Genuinely loved it. Amazon are still selling both his books. You don't need an ISBN. You only need one if you want it recorded for posterity. If it's just for profit, why pay for an ISBN? Mind you, it's only a few quid. So you've answered your own question, Laird Wuckfit. But everyone watches Porgies tonight. Well, I'm not sure that it's the kind of film that lady wives, certainly in my case, will watch, because it'll be like, you watched this shite when you were how old? 10. Yeah, and the rest. And the best football team, Ian McGee, steady. Although, now that they've signed Isak, they're literally going to win the league this year at a canter. He's going to be knocking them in for fun. Left, right and centre. 130 million quid for a footballer. Oi, 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 oi. Napoleon blown apart. Woods, Navy rum and black currant was my drink for years. Cannot buy it here. I'll tell you what, Napoleon blown apart, if you can, and they only stock it on ships, in the ship's hold. It's called Four Bells. Four Bells rum. Literally, it will put hairs on your chest and on your sphericals. It's dynamite. It's rocket fuel. You can't buy it in shops. And my dad used to get it from, because he was a merchant navy boy, he used to get it and bring it ashore. And we always had a bottle of Four Bells in the cupboard. And literally, I could take a tiny nip, and it just, it warms you all the way down. And then your derriere starts, it's on fire, and whoosh, off you go like a rocket. It is firewater, literally firewater. Spencer Davies, 22 quid for his first book. Oh my God. It was 14 quid originally. It's gone up to 22. At least Dick Turpin wore a mask. So how can he sell 2 copies to somebody in Nottingham the other day for 35 quid? So everybody's going to be claiming. So can I buy 2 for 35 quid? Bad Wolf Project, Nielsen UK, ISBN 89 to 93, or 170 for 10. Bloody hell, 17 quid each. But I would imagine that if you're going to do your first book, or you've got a series of 6, that'll be half of them for 10, 170 quid. It's not going to cost you that much for an ISBN. I would, for the pleasure of writing my own book and having it published in whatever form, you'd want to do it doing properly, wouldn't you? Rusty's Roamings had to be Britvic blackcurrant with that navy rum, not any of that cheap stuff. Exactly. Neil Cunningham, Four Bells, puts tits on your back. I know it does, Neil. If you've tasted it, you know what I'm talking about. It's like scary stuff. The tiniest bit, and it's like, whoa! It just, it'll knock you unconscious. It's not, and even like a glass of Buckfast, it knocks Buckfast into a cocked hat. If anybody offers you a bottle of Four Bells, you can only get it from a ship's hold. It's only available to merchant navy boys. As far as I'm aware, I'm sure you probably can buy it somewhere. Wood rum, the best at 57%. Garin, I'm telling you, Four Bells rum, it's like 70 or 80%. It's almost meths. It's like paint strimmer. It's just, but it tastes fantastic. Has he donated his copies to the British Library, says Aidan Wilsmith? I have no idea. That would be lovely if he did, though. His fans must need a lot of toilet paper. Well, if they're drinking Four Bells, it tests the best of constitutions, can I say? Bad Wolf Project, if you can find it, Myers Export Dark Rum. My folk used to bring it back from Florida. Oh, is it American? Lovely. And Terry Wuckfit says the cost on his website is $12.99 for Enema. On Amazon, it's $21.99. On Amazon, his second book is Kindle only. Told you. Saves book cost if you send electronic version. Yeah. Phil Levan, a question for the gents. Did you hate it when you were watching telly with your mam and tits would pop up on the box? Oh, can you remember Googie Withers? Mine did. But it was it Inside Walls, Inside Something with Googie Withers? It was all about women in jail. And there was a real controversy. So I'm sitting there watching this Googie Withers, Inside Walls, or whatever it was called. It was about women in jail. And Googie Withers was the governor. Googie Withers. I mean, you would have changed your name, wouldn't you? And I was sitting there with my mum and dad, and it was the first woman-on-woman kiss on the telly ever. And I'm sitting there, I can't have been any older than 10 or 11, and I'm sitting there going, oh, look. And my dad went, right, bed. What do you mean? You bed now, bed. And I was like, but Dad, I'm watching these two women kiss. He said, you're going to bloody bed now. And I'm like, oh, at least Googie Withers hasn't. Can anybody? Hang on a second. I'm going to have to go back to you. 4 bells run for sale on Google. Is it really, Reg D? Well, you can order it if you want, but I'm telling you, it'll put so much hair on your chest, people will think you're a bear. Within these walls. Thank you, Super Ted. Within these walls from King and Viv Kenyon. Within these walls. Echo Bunny Woman. And I don't know whether you were around watching this, but for like a young guy at school, oh, look. And I'm literally saying this, oh, look. And my dad's like, bed, time for bed, because it started at like 9 o'clock or something. So it must have been past my bedtime. But all of a sudden, women kissing on the telly. It's never been known. I mean, there was a right furore in the press the day after. Oh, my word, within these walls, they've had women kissing. And everybody's going, yes, and the problem is... and obviously, what's her face with the bloody glasses and the prudish Mary Whitehouse. So Mary Whitehouse, we can't have that on the telly. And I'm going, yes we can. And Mary Whitehouse is no, ban it. It's ITV. No, ban it. Everybody that's taking adverts out in the advert segments of within these walls, they need to pull their adverts. And I'm like, no, we need more of that. And my dad's like, you're not watching that again. You got far too excited. I didn't, Dad. I didn't. I was just watching it. And, so what was that all about then, Dad? Nothing, son. You'll understand when you grow up. I do now. Googie Withers. What a name and a half. So, can't find it in the BL's catalogue. What the BL's catalogue? Thank you for everyone who with it. And Prisoner Cell Block H was better. Don't know. I mean, I'm with the original. So 50 Shades, you've got the story of O, and most people don't even know about the story of O. And the woman who wrote 50 Shades just nicked it from the story of O. And the story of O in the 60s and 70s was so avant-garde. I mean, so out there that people wouldn't even put their name to it. The author wouldn't put their name to it for fear of, being sent to Coventry, I think is the term. Kenny Everett Nightmare. Yeah, smash the likes, you wrongin'. I mean, cool, blimey, tough audience tonight, and it's a celebration tonight. We're not I am going to do some of the serious stuff in a minute, but it's our 3rd birthday. We're just riffing. Everybody's chilling. Everybody's having a good time. Ray Norton, remember watching Flesh Gordon? Maid's dad thought it was Flash Gordon was alive. Gordon's alive. I bet he was. He was the upstanding member of the community. Was old Flesh Gordon. A frustrated Whitehouse. I know. I mean, she was just like, on my council estate, we just took the mickey out of her. Alan, stop it. Pans people. Got me through puberty. Mary Whitehouse even wanted to ban Tom and Jerry. And it's too violent. And everybody's like, it's a cartoon. Mate, Mary, it's a cartoon. And then I'm sure Kenny Everett... I remember watching Smith and Jones when I was 11, 12 and asked my mother what ghoulies meant. She asked me what on earth was I watching. Well, it's just Smith and Jones. But what was the Western? It's not got anything to do with ghoulies or Mary Whitehouse or Googie Withers. But what was the American? There was 2 cowboys in it. Was it Smith and Jones? God, I remember that. I mean, that was proper telly. Men fighting with guns. The Story of O by Anon, my book says Napoleon blown apart. We both have copies, Napoleon. Well, yes, it was by anonymous because they wouldn't put their name to it, because back in the 60s and 70s, that was so far out there. I mean, avant-garde had its own avant-garde, and that avant-garde was the Story of O. Nobody would ever put their name to it. Alas, Smith and Jones. Was that alias Smith and Jones? Alan Daffis, Super Ted, Gene Psychic, Andy Turner, Ray Norton, Dave Johnston, Terry Wookfit, Pete Dewell and Ben Murphy. Ben Murphy was the one with the curly hair, wasn't he? The pair of them were good-looking swines. Obviously Hollywood. Nicholas says, 16-year-old first job was taken to Victoria Park for the Christmas shipyard ball. Stripper got this young lad on stage. I was mortified. Hour of the Moon. over the moon. Hour is kind of northeastern for over. And it's always the way. I mean, the shipyards, if you survive the shipyards, then I doff my titfer to you. What's a titfer? It's a hat, before you make any of your own gags. And so I work for Sunderland PWD, Public Works Department, as a motor mechanic. And literally we went out, and it was, I was like 16, 17. Obviously I didn't buy any alcohol. I got it bought for me. And like, you know, the fitters and the mechanics. And I used to work next door to, I'm sure Nicholas will verify this. If you worked down the yards, most of the time on a Monday morning, the lads in the yards had such a skinful on Saturday and Sunday nights that they went into work on a Monday and slept the beer off in the ship's hold. I mean, everybody went to sleep on a Monday morning. It was just one of those done things because everybody had had a skinful over the weekend. Hale and Pace, Mephistopheles. That wasn't the American cowboy stuff. Bad Wolf Project says, I can recall my mum coming home and thinking she'd recorded the Sullivan on the Betamax. Oh, Betamax. Instead, she found my brother a copy of Electric Blue 13. She wondered what Kitty Sullivan was doing. Less said, the better. But we're all nodding in agreement. Bad Wolf Project. I was close to the end of the Second World War, and the powers that be hated Tommies, hated losing against Jerry the Mouse. Jerry's. Oh, really, Mad Matt? Do you know, I'd never twigged with that. Tom and Jerry, as in Tommies and Jerry's. Wow, but they were American. Gary Chabot. At last, Smith and Jones, alias Smith and Jones. It was a great. I loved it because, you know, it was not Pete Duel, Ben Murphy. Ben Murphy was such a good-looking swine. He just got all the women, and I was thinking, when I grow up, I want to be him. Didn't work. Didn't have curly hair. News out of Portugal is very sad. What's that, Spencer? Something happened? Is it one of the schools? Did I see something earlier? Tell us what that is, please, Spencer Davies. Terry Wookford, Pete Duel, Hannibal Hayes topped himself and was replaced by Pete Davis. Oh, I remember that. And it was never the same. It literally was never the same because it was the chemistry between Pete Duel and Ben Murphy. Or the Virginian. Was that the tobacconist? The Virginian. There you go, bunny woman. Taking the mickey. I'll have half an ounce of Gold Virginia, please. Wayne and Waynetta. Oh, yes. Electric Blue was crap. Remember the tune. Phil the Van. You can remember the tune of some mucky vids. You are some boy. Oh, Bonanza. Yeah. Big Joe. Was it Big Joe and Little Joe? Bonanza. We loved the Westerns. And that was me. My dad said something once, and I couldn't have been any more than 7 or 8. And I was thinking, well, the West's not that far away. We can go across the country as the crow flies, and it can't be any more than 2 or 3 hours. So if we went to the West, Liverpool, Cowboys, we could just, you know, mince about with their guns. Oh, how the innocent played. It was Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid vibe. Nicky Watson. I remember asking my dad what a cockbox, you know, Nicky Watson. I remember asking my dad what a cockbox was when we were watching cricket. His look was priceless. And you know what it is? Get up and went to the beer tent. And you know what it is? Got up and went to the beer tent to get a drink. I'd get 3. I should be a gentleman, Nicky. No, I'm being a gentleman, but that's fucking funny. It was Tom Harney's Planet of the Apes TV show was pretty good. Who was the English actor that played the head ape? Can't remember his name. But that is funny, Nicky. Can you imagine the innocence? Dad, what's a cockbox? Oh, fuck, I'm going to the beer tent. Gloria funicular derails. Oh, really? Is that the oh, man. Me and the new Mrs. Allen were in Lisbon 18 months, 2 years ago. Capital of Portugal. Oh, man. 15 dead, 18 injured. I remember being on one of those trams, and we were literally rammed tight on one of the trams because it took us ages to get on one in the first place. But, oi, 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 oi. Paul Mabley, at least 15 people have been killed and 18 others injured after Lisbon's famous Gloria funicular derailed and crashed. Emergency services have said. Oh, my heart goes out to, it's probably a multinational well, my heart goes out to them, genuinely. Because that's, people on it's a Wednesday night. Lisbon would have been very warm. That's kind of put a spoke in the wheels. Nicky Watson, God rest his soul, I was about 11. Ray Norton, Roddy McDowell, thank you, Ray. Do you know, we're going to leave the blue movies to the lads, I think. Yeah, Phil Levan. They used to go into the Amazon, and they used to go into the rainforest, and they used to go into Africa, and all the tribes used to have, everything on show because they were innocent. They were completely innocent. Didn't mean anything to them. Didn't mean anything to me and you until we got into the hormones kicked in. What about all these German politicians expiring? Isn't it 7 AFD party? Oh, that's it's a bit sniffy, that bit whiffy. It stinks. So, right, I think we'll leave all that alone. I think, I mean, the vernacular in Lisbon, having ridden those, and knowing how tight it is, if you even manage to get a seat, that's awful news. Awful news. The littlest hobo, Mephistopheles, bless you. Mastication is chewing. Of course it is, King Treble 7. The Tube on Channel 4. Oh, yeah, been there for quite a few acts because I was working on Radio Tees on Teesside and we were always invited up there. Champion, the Wonder Horse. See, the emphasis on the wrong syllable. You heard me singing that in your head. Champion, the Wonder Horse. All of them standing in the same district. Oh, man. Right. Let's get to some of the other stuff. Some of the sermon that, although it is the 3rd birthday and we're kind of celebrating that, we've made it this far. There's been a 2-year report by the University of Leicester's Centre for Hate Studies. You know what's coming, don't you? And yeah, you know that your taxes are paying for this. It's a bloody university. Sorry, yeah, University of Leicester's Centre for Hate Studies. They've got a Centre for Hate Studies. So maybe they should do the hate studies for the indigenous population of this island. Maybe they should look at the gingers. Because, middle-aged gingers are very few and far between, let me tell you. But seemingly, this University of Leicester's Centre for Hate Studies claims that the countryside is overwhelmingly white. Due in part to minorities not possessing Wellington boots and being challenged by map reading. What the actual? Can I just tell these people, who obviously should have gone to Specsavers, the countryside is overwhelmingly green. It's not white at all. There's no white in it anywhere, ever. It's green, you moronics. It says that it would be solved, according to the report, with more halal food and spaces for prayer. They're saying, well, okay, but like what we used to do when we used to go to the beach. The beach is normally like a sandy colour, and the sea is not blue, it's some shitty colour it used to be in Sunderland. I think they've cleaned it all up. But they're talking about halal food and spaces for prayer. Look, they can bring their own food. Actually, white people call that a bloody picnic. Obviously, the wokerati want funding for this brown stuff. So it doesn't take much to work out that countryside is actually green. That's why you take your wellies. If you haven't got any wellies, you can buy some. You don't need halal food. Look, if, the stalls and the shops and the cafes, if they're not selling stuff that the The people that go there want to buy, then they're going to go out of business. It really is that simple. So maybe if people want halal food, open your own bloody restaurant then, and see how many people walk by and how many people will buy your goods. And if they don't buy your goods, you'll go out of business. That's all it takes. I was going to do Rusty's Roamings. Does this mean that the Masai Mara is too black? Very good. We don't want them in the countryside. We don't want anybody in the countryside that's going to abuse the countryside. There's the countryside code that we all abide by. We've abided by the country code for decades and decades and decades. We just put our wellies on. If it's a bit cold, we just put a big jacket on, and we'll take our sarnies. And look at the elderly. The elderly, bloody hell, are they going to stop them stopping in lay-bys at the side of the road and get their table out and their picnic chairs and have their little sarnies and a cup of tea? It's very English. It's very British, should I say. We love all that, man. That's what makes us eccentric and weird and wonderful. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Great film. Adrian, they are stealing sheep and fly tipping. Paulie Galtieri. Yeah, let's stop the fly tipping. And I wonder what they're nicking the sheep for. Dinner? Make your own gags up. I know it's in your head. I'm not doing any further gags. Because, look, if they're going to... the guy that did Father Ted, and he's been arrested because somebody complained. They will fly tip as soon as they arrive. Stop the boats and protect the goats. Emojis, says Alan Daffis. Bar, sheep of colour. Of course, Mephistopheles. They will be building mosques in the countryside next. Well, they've got to get the audience there first. Zorro. Save our goats too. Sheep shaggers. Well, you know... no, don't do that one, Adrian. The elderly eating their sarnies in their Morris Minor. Yeah, by the road. Possibly towing a caravan. That makes it quintessentially English. They'll just stop in a lay-by. Do they not know about lead poisoning? From the fumes from the cars, but they'll sit there, they'll get their table out, they'll get the chairs out, even if it's raining, they'll sit there and have their sarnie and a cup of tea and not speak to each other. Isn't that wonderful? It's so British. Plant trees, not refugees. Ian McGee says they stuff them before eating. The elderly, yeah, we've got that one. They are setting long lines in rivers to catch breeding-sized coarse fish for the pot. Oh, I say, Les. So, Rebel, they were asking Farage about Linehan today in the US. That's because the Americans can't... Something's going to happen with Trump and J.D. Vance and this country, because I think they see us as part of Europe when technically we're not supposed to be. And Farage is saying we've all got free speech. No. This is North Korea, according to some of the newspapers this morning. How did we become North Korea? Easy. You put the fucking communists in charge. I mean... Are these people thick? Are these editors and journalists thick? Put the communists in charge and what do you get? North Korea? Velcro gloves for sheep shagging, says Mephistopheles. Is that personal knowledge, Mephistopheles? Halal is meat you're looking for? Oh, right, very good, Ebony. The Flashing Blade kids show, popular when we were growing up, became a reality in most towns now. Oh, blimey, Alan. Be called the Pig Abu district soon. Of course, Ray Norton. And Shire Fines saw a short today of a woman cramming a seagull into a rucksack. We know what she's having for Sunday dinner. Yeah, a load of shit, because that seagull would have just emptied its insides into that. And look, wood pigeon tastes really nice, as long as you don't get it adrenalised. And wood pigeons have very large breasts that are very good cooking if you're trying to survive. But I wouldn't eat a seagull for all the money in China, even if I was starving. I've always thought Starmer was a communist. He's a Fabian, Mad Matt UK. And let me tell you about Fabian, the Fabian rule of law. Can we just agree that the Fabian religion has poisoned the rule of law in this country. The rule of law isn't an obscure axiom about not allowing criminality. It is an essential component of our constitution. It has been brutally subverted by the Fabian Society and Labour Party with the aim of destroying English liberty and free democracy. We must restore it before it's too late. Now, the Fabian Society was founded in 1884. It has the express goal of transitioning our free democracy into a socialist enterprise, using what they refer to as a gradualist approach. It advocates for so-called democratic socialism, aka post-1968 Euro-communism, through gradual reform, gradual inevitability in my house, rather than revolution. So it's evolution, not revolution. It's evolution into democratic socialism, which is communism. Their stated core intention has been to achieve socialist goals through incremental policy changes, education, and working with existing democratic institutions. I mean, it is perhaps why their logo was, until recently, a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I am, over the next couple of days, I intend to try and do at least one video a day, and I am going to do a deep dive into the Fabian Society. Its notorious members, because there have been some notorious members. You've got Khan and Blair and Starmer and Brown and all the higher echelons of the Labour Party. I am going to do a deep dive. But also, and they can't refute this because it's factual, if you know anything about theosophy, or some people call it the occult. Now, occult just means hidden. But people that look at worshipping the occult, do you know the names Madame Blavatsky and Annie Besant? Besant. They're both, how can I gently put it? They're both theologians, but it's the dark side. So the early technocrats in the Fabian Society, in my view, the theosophers were devil worshippers. So the Fabian Society wouldn't want you to know about that. And there's Starmer, a member of the Fabian Society. So I'm going to do more digging. I've already got Blavatsky and Besant and other names, George Bernard Shaw. I've got other names that have an interesting background. And what they wouldn't want you to know is that Blavatsky and Besant were very much onto the esoteric side of life. So I will leave it until I do a deeper dive on the... Isabel Oakeshott was trying hard to downplay the Fabians. I found that odd. Amalia. The left-hand path, of course, fixed text. But I want to do... The thing is, though, doing a subject like that and putting it on YouTube is... It's very dry. I mean, we could try and make it kind of, you know, sex the document up. But they don't believe in God, but they do believe in the devil. Interesting concept, says Alan. I know. Tice is a member, what, of the Fabian Society. Now, I know somebody said on LBC the other morning there was like 8,000 to 10,000 members of the Fabian Society. Really? They're now saying it's averaging about 6. But Angela Rayner used her disabled son's compensation to buy her house. How low? Beata, should we talk about Ginger Growler? So I'm going to ask you this question. They can't sack her because she was elected. She has to resign. And she's not really for resigning, is she? So I'm going to ask you one for yes, 2 for no. Paul Mabry or the Knights of Columbus. Don't know too much about them, but I will do a deeper dive, Paul. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Should Angela Rayner, Ginger Growler, and the body of the Kirk, should she step aside now? Using her disabled son to legitimise what she's done. Oh, I didn't know what I was doing. I took guidance and advice. Had away and shite. Saving £40,000 in taxes. Of course she would have known. You mean she looks at laws and she doesn't take all the information in, and whomever advised her didn't tell her about that? Oh, here. In the words of the great Chinese philosopher, Foxtrot Oscar, Absolutely everybody is saying one. Terry Wookford, not really true. The Prime Minister can ask the Labour Party to remove her from her position. Correct, because they elected her. They hold a vote and either she goes or stays. So technically, he can't sack her. He can get the Labour Party to vote on whether she should I stay or should I go. Great song by The Clash. But everybody is saying one. She should go. And as I was saying in one of the little videos and on the live last night, Alistair Campbell, thanks to my mate Dean, who literally heard him say, we used to allow a story. If it went beyond 11 days, we just used to have a word with the member and they would resign. Because any story going beyond 11 days is going to obliterate and eviscerate anything that we're trying to do. And that was Tony Blair and Alistair Campbell. So now we know Sir Keir Starmer put a new boy in place, Jones, as his deputy. Well, not a private secretary, more powerful than that, but a new post that hasn't existed before. And now we actually have a deputy Prime Minister of the Labour Party. He's just not called the deputy of the Labour Party. Deputy Prime Minister of the Labour Party. He's called something else. But Starmer, I would lay all of what I've got and my last shirt and my last bet that Starmer was doing, Keir Starmer was doing Angela Rayner Ginger Growler's knees. Politically, this is only, it's the last man standing or woman standing. So she was the deputy. She'll want to go to the House of Lords. They wanted, a single mother from a council estate, came from nothing, became deputy prime minister. Not a first in the Labour Party. John Prescott did that. Came via the ships and the merchant navy, or rum bum and backy, and he went into the Lords. But she's now, you see, the thing that she did wrong was not trying to avoid paying the taxes. It was getting caught. Somebody somewhere knew and was keeping it in their back pocket just to let the press have it. Somebody is briefing the press. I think she's gone. I think the Labour Party are going to ask her to go. Because 40 grand is a lot. And saying, I didn't realise, means that she will be being briefed on things that she's not paying attention to as the Deputy Prime Minister and will make mistakes. Now, she says, we all make mistakes. And you're the Housing Minister. And you're not paying your stamp duty of 40 grand. No, I'm sorry. Darren Jones, as Starmer's Chief Secretary, is there to keep all the Cabinet Ministers in line. He is simply a grubby little sneak. And he's a firewall between him and Rayner. I think they came from a group of left-wing intellectuals, writers with an esoteric view on life. Who? Besant and Blavatsky. Core blimey, have you read any of Blavatsky? I've got some Besant books and Blavatsky. Madame Blavatsky was, she was some character, to be fair. She should step down as an MP too. There should be a by-election as well, and Reform will win it. That's what they're scared of. So, I know exactly how you all feel. You want her gone, finished, done. Let's just see what happens over the next few days. I'll quickly tell you about Epstein, because I'm going to round tonight off in a moment. So now, Jeffrey Epstein, who didn't Epstein himself, unalived himself, and seemingly is still alive. Epstein's victims are now getting together after Virginia Giuffre's sad passing. They are compiling their own client list. The Democrats are apoplectic with rage over the latest document release. Are you aware of this? Only came out a couple of hours before I came on air. Dozens of Jeffrey Epstein victims are expected to gather in Washington, D.C. following the release of 33,000 files on Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced financier. And all 33,000 Epstein files can be accessed by me and you. You know what I'm going to do tomorrow, don't you? I'm having a look. So if I can, Growler hired top legal team, she now says, gave her wrong advice. So is she going to sue them? Because if it costs her career or 40 grand that she's going to have to pay back, what's she going to do? Well, they gave me advice. It was the wrong advice, and really I shouldn't have taken their advice. King Treble 7, 33,000. No, I get the numerology of it all. 33 vertebrae, age of the Christ. I think they might do well, but they might just split the vote, unfortunately. It'd be very interesting. Hang on. Amalia, someone needs to tell Adrian. Tell me what, Amalia? You tell me. Look, I've said before, I said it last night on the live. If I get anything wrong, I'm more than happy to be taught and corrected. Not in the Frank Boff kind of way, but I'm happy to be corrected. As the anonymous emailer will verify. I kind of looked at what I'd said about... I have, Amalia! I have! Hang on. Herbal teas? I was talking about Epstein, Amalia. I'm sure you've... Oh, you mean Ginger Growler. She's got the misogyny defence rolling. Interesting. Hibiscus causes coughing. It does. I'm still no further forward. Right, Amalia, I'm waiting for you to tell me what's going on. If you don't, just tell me via Twitter a little bit later. Right, you're talking amongst yourselves. If we can smash the likes, there's 500 people watching this now. So smash the likes so that we can get it over 200. That would it would help. 3 years in, and hopefully here's to another 3 years. So if you can smash the likes while I round up this evening. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions. Please make sure that you are still subscribed to the channel. We want to get to 10,000 so I can get a manager. I have no idea what they do. And don't forget, on Sunday, we have a special guest. Detective Constable Janet Percival. She's going to talk about her experience, her lived experience. She is the police officer that put Alex Belfield behind bars. And she's going to tell everything on Sunday. And Marley says, it's possible you're coughing as a reaction to hibiscus. Ooh. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But I'm going to go to the doctors. Last time I went to the doctors, I got to about 4 kinds of different antibiotics. And it went eventually. So, 150 likes, 500 watching. Come on, guys! Thank you, Ray Norton. Thank you to everyone that's wished the channel well this evening. Really do appreciate it. It's been a very interesting 3 years. It's been a fantastic 3 years. And look, the only reason I do this is to validate you so that you know you're not alone, you're not thinking wrong. There are like-minded folk out here that think exactly the same as you. So thank you to everyone that's been here within the body of the Kirk this evening. I'll get Sister Mary to get her big dog Dick, the dachshund, back from in the garden. God knows what it's been doing out there, but be careful if there's not enough light, and you might end up stepping in some battenburg. Well, it might smell like battenburg, but it might ruin your shoes. So wherever you go and whatever you do, thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, but most of all, your indulgence. 3 years down the line, we'll do it for another 30, hopefully, God willing. Wherever you go, whatever you do, make sure you've got emergency Battenberg. Make sure you've got a little altar wine just to... Bad Wolf Project. Do the backroom staff get a mention? All those who have helped and assisted over the years? Yes, forgive my bad manners. Forgive my bad manners. To everybody that in the quiet, in the background, that has supported daily, weekly, monthly and yearly the channel, I really appreciate their guidance and help, especially with their the IT shenanigans. So thank you to everyone who's helped in the background, the Scarlet Pimpernel especially, and to you for being part of the body of the Kirk at any point over the last 3 years. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And remember, the Theatre of the Mind is not a show. It's a mission. And we go again with DC Janet Percival, 7:30 Sunday night. See you then.